Hello everybody, I would like to do a video just explaining a few tactics in Heroes of Might and Magic 3 here, or at least one tactic for this video. And the tactic is hero chaining. And despite what you might think, most of you probably don't know much about this technique unless you're somebody who plays this game versus other players. You probably never really had to use it very well. So I'm just gonna go through it really quick. I'm gonna go through the basics, and then I'm also gonna touch on some advanced aspects of the technique. I'm just going to play a random map here because these are probably the best maps to show this off. I guess a random map with no enemies. No, is that possible? Let's just do this setup here. See what we get. Medium map. Oh, this is about right. So basically, what everybody who starts Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and doesn't know anything about it probably starts off just using one or two heroes to do everything. Maybe they hire a few more heroes along the way. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save right here, and we're going to try that technique versus the hero chaining technique, and we'll see how much of a difference it makes here. So I'm just going to really quickly, let's go ahead and hire another hero so we can get their troops too. Okay, and Ivor's a great hero, by the way. But we'll just go through the entire map, trying to use just Ivor, or not the entire map, but a good portion of the map. It says, oh nice, chain lightning. Huh. And since we don't need any other heroes, we can stack all the experience on Ivor, right? That's the advantage of just using one hero. Actually, I probably should have chose Diplomacy there. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and clear everything out. We probably want that over there, that homestead. And we want at least this guy to pick things up, right? So we'll take this guy. And that's it. We'll just have these two heroes. Protection from fire. You can go pick that up down there, maybe. But, you know, it's pretty standard that everybody who starts out playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3 uses maybe just the main hero that they're going to have to go around and do everything. Maybe they'll have another hero to pick things up. Maybe. And, of course, they probably spend most of their gold upgrading like their town hall to capital as soon as possible. And I still get people commenting on my channel when they see my play like, dude, you're a noob, you should why do you hire so many heroes, what a waste of money, and all this kind of stuff. But I guarantee you, anybody who's playing versus other players is doing the the thing where you hire a lot of heroes and doing hero chaining. I guarantee you that is the way to win. It was found out very early in Heroes of Might and Magic 3 that was the most efficient way to win. So let's just go ahead and get rid of that guy. I'll just go ahead and do this. I'm just gonna clear out like my area here, and we're gonna see how long it takes me with just Ivor. Go ahead and probably use that. Okay. For this kind of a map, and this of course this is a random map. For this kind of a map, the hero chaining works very well. That's why I picked this kind of a map. There are maps, you know, where, and if you play on a higher difficulty where you start with a lot less resources, then it changes things a bit. I play, of course, single-player maps because I don't, or at least not yet, I don't play multiplayer, don't play this game multiplayer. I have, of course, in the past, played in multiplayer tournaments, and I used to be very good at it. But for just single-player maps, because of the way single-player maps are designed, you know, you don't see me play like I would play in multiplayer. Multiplayer looks a lot different, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Or it at least should if you're seeing a good player play. Should be very different. But anyway, I think... Okay, so I think it's safe to say we're week 2, right? That's far enough. So we've pretty much cleared just about everything in our immediate area on exactly week 2, right? So let's go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and reload, and let's look at the difference. Okay, so now we're going to use hero chaining here. Now, the problem with hero chaining, I guess if you want to call it a problem, is it requires a lot more skill to do. And can be frustrating sometimes when it doesn't quite work out the way you want it to. Could be very frustrating. But when you pull it off, it's very satisfying. And so, okay, so the difference here is I'm not really going to use Ivor as a main hero here. And, like, if you see a really advanced player playing, and they're playing against another player, then you probably won't know who they've chosen as a main hero for a little while into the game, because they'll be too busy clearing things with just any hero that could reach the target to clear the target, so they can grab as many resources as they can. I had a game versus literally the top player at the time, a guy who went by the name of Frank, and it was like the second week, and I still didn't know who his main hero was, because he was just I couldn't see who he was favoring, so I had no idea who he actually had as a main hero. But that's how it will be if you see a really good player playing against another player, or at least should be. So anyway, so what we're gonna do here, we wanna set things up. First of all, if Ivor is my main hero, I do want him to probably get most of the experience, but you know, I'm not going to go out of my way. So first things first, I'm probably going to just see what I have to work with here as far as where we need to go first. The idea is, because I'm probably not going to be playing on normal difficulty. When I play versus the computer on the highest difficulty. Probably versus another player, you would probably play on maybe the second to highest difficulty. So you probably start off with maybe 5,000 gold. Enough to hire a couple of heroes from the start. And that's going to give you your starting army, with which you're either going to just grab resources that are free, or you're going to have to fight some small stacks in order to free up some resources that you can grab, in order to keep hiring more heroes and build more of your town. So I want to target immediately. I want to target like things that are going to either free up some resources, or, you know, these crypts here that are going to have a chance to give me some free resources. It looks like to me going to the left would be the most lucrative thing right now. Now, I'm going to actually, because I don't want to move Ivor really right yet, I'm going to go ahead and hire Tazar, who's also actually a good hero. I might, if I saw Tazar in here, I might actually switch to him being a main hero. But let's pretend I'm going to choose Ivor. So, Tazar, I think, is just going to free these pixies up right here. And then... Okay, so that's gone. So I don't really need to, like, you could go and grab this stuff with Tazar, but I don't really need to yet. I'm not under the gun yet. There's nobody else who's going to grab these. What's going to happen is now Ivor is going to come out, and because remember, another thing about Ivor is he gets those elven specialty. So if I've got maybe a tough fight, which is these halberders, I'm going to actually want him to do that. So I could probably pick up a couple of these resources really quick before I actually give Ivor those troops. And then we'll take... I would be a little bit more careful about this, obviously. But then we'll take that. I don't want to use Ivor because he's my main hero. I don't really want to use him to pick that scroll up. Also, that scroll isn't really going to do me much good, even if it's like Chain Lightning. Nobody really can cast it anyway. So, next thing we want to do is preferably, we would probably want to end our turn with the troops, the fastest troops on Ivor. So he's got more movement next turn. So what I'm actually going to do, and this is, sometimes this is a hard call to make, like exactly how you move in the hero chain. It's very challenging, actually. And if you can get it right, then, I mean, I would say 60% of winning a player versus player game is hero chaining properly. So anyway, I'm going to put Coronius down here. I'm going to take Ivor, and if he's got enough movement, I'm just going to take him. I would probably actually want to visit that mercenary camp with Ivor. That's probably what I want to do. So we'd have him down there. Coronius, we don't care about. He's just a secondary hero. But we'll have him go over here. Tazar, so we want to do this. This is where you set up the hero chain. So it's like next turn, I want to be ready to take all this stuff, all of this stuff, in one turn here. And we got to make a decision. There's a lot to pick up down here. Do we want Tazar to pick that up? We probably do. He's closest. I want to look for people who are going to give me some kind of, bonus right off the bat. Adelaide's got Frost Ring. It's pretty marginal, really. It's not really that great. Maybe Thunar. He's got basic estates. He's got a little bit more movement because he starts with these pixies, and they're a little bit faster troops. So I would probably have him. So this is where hero chaining is very, very hard. It's because you can see the movement range for like Thunar by just clicking, clicking right there, right? Okay, we can see he can move that far, and then if we get, well, actually, wow. Okay, that's because there's that road there. I need to. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we can click up there and we can say, oh, okay, he can move that far exactly. That's easy, but the problem is when you can't actually, like when you've got an enemy in the way or something like that, and you're like, well, if I take this enemy out, how much farther do I have to move? Or if I pick this resource up, how much farther do I have to move from there? There's really no way to tell. You just really have to guesstimate. And that could be very hard, and if you guesstimate wrong, then, your hero chain falls apart, and then you got all sorts of problems. So, it's tough. Also, what I'd want to do is I'd want to visit that witch hut somewhere. So, probably what I'd want to do, so I wouldn't want to visit that with Ivor, because if it's a bad skill, I don't want that on my main hero. So, what we'd probably do is, actually, it's a little bit complicated. I could probably save that witch hut. If it's not really a priority that I get another skill on Ivor, I could save that witch hut for any other time here. I don't really need to worry about it with Ivor. So probably what I do, Ivor visits that mercenary camp because he's my main hero. He takes one, maybe two of these crypts. And then after that, I would probably want to... Looks like we want to launch up there and get that prison, I would say. So I would probably have Thunar go right here, ready to pick up after Ivor, and go up here. Yep, that's probably how I do it. We could hero chain back over here and clear out the Walking Dead or something over there. But, I don't know, that would probably be something I do on the next turn, since we still have things to do right now. And I think I will take just Tazar, just take him down here real quick. Actually, who's got the troops right now? It's Coronius, yeah. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, it's one way to do it. It's difficult to say which is the best way to do it, but I would probably also hire another hero. And we got that windmill. So we got that one. Actually, we can't go any further than that, can we? We got a few things to pick up. So I would just pick things up, start like, seeing what's here. Anti-magic is nice. And that's probably as far as I'd go right now. And then the next day, so here we go. We want to probably rearrange these guys in a little bit better formation here. I assume that this is not going to be too big a deal. It's not. Okay. I probably want to pick that up now because I'm right there. Ivor goes now. You gotta make sure that you can, you do this. Okay, so it looks like Ivor is a little bit shorter on movement than I was hoping, so, but that's okay. We want to get him at least one battle because he's my main hero. Yeah. So, going up right here. Yeah, so that gets him 540 experience, which is good. We want to keep moving him over here. Depending on what's over there at that witch hut, and I might have... What I would probably do is I would have Coronius go check that out. Basic water magic. That might be something I might want to give Ivor, depending. And then I guess I will backtrack with this guy. Ivor gets pixies because they're fast, because next turn we want Ivor to be... to have the maximum amount of movement points that he could possibly have. Okay, so that's how that went. Now, seeing as things went how they went, I kind of changed my mind here. I'm going to go back down here. I can have anybody pick up that spell scroll later, so that's not a big deal. I'm going to go back down here, and we're going to do this. We're going to give Adelaide this, all these troops here. And then I've got to decide, okay, do I want to go down here? I've got another couple of things I could clear out. The Dwarven Treasury is a little bit hard there, so I probably wouldn't go for that. One thing we probably want to do is we probably want to unblock this right here. But I would probably... Oh, nice. We got Brissa. I would, of course, at this time, you'd also be upgrading your town, right? So I usually, what I do is I try to go for the highest level of troop I can get as soon as possible. In Rampart, that probably means unicorns. So I've got to get an Enchanted Spring and Dendroid Archers. Dendroids are pretty stocky troops, and I would probably get them first. The Pegasi aren't really quite as useful in small numbers. So what I would do is we would just go up here quickly with her, Adelaide, and then we just hand off to Brissa along that road, of course. And let's go ahead and we want the Dendroids though. And Brissa's just going to clear that out. And that just lets me go up here. Now I could go up here with Brissa, but that probably wouldn't be the wisest move because we want to kind of keep everything close together so our heroes can hero chain, and it's kind of like if you were to look at this like in sped up time, it would kind of look like a snake almost in terms of how your heroes move. They're just back and forth in this big chain, right? Hero chain. That's how it should look if you're looking at someone who's really advanced doing it. Of course, they're if you're not looking at someone, if you're looking at someone who's not very good, then it would probably look, it probably wouldn't look like that. But if you're looking at a really advanced player, it would look like just, a bunch of, like a snake moving back and forth almost, if you were to see the heroes as little dots. Anyway, so probably could take this out right here before I have to go back. And so that just breaks apart this place so I can get through, and that's all it's about. And then I could go back. I've got enough movement to actually go back to Tazar, and he could go and clear some of this out so we can grab even more resources down here. And that would also put me in a position to kind of be like, to kind of get those troops back from Tazar. And notice I'm not picking stuff up yet because I don't need to yet, and there's nobody else that's going to take them yet. I'm not going to clear those Iron Golems because there's no way I could take that Dragon Utopia right now. These gnolls, there's probably a small chance that they might join me. But they didn't, of course. The Dwarven Treasury, it's kind of unlikely that I'll be able to clear that at this point because yeah. But on the other hand, that crypt is kind of highly likely that I can clear that at this point. Almost a guaranteed, I'd say. Is guaranteed, I think. So that's kind of my target right there. There you go. So, yeah, and that's got a pretty good reward. Harpy hags are a problem, so I would skip those for now. Anyway, I'm getting back on this road, so I can re-hero chain my troops all the way back up here and start clearing this up here. And Adelaide can go... She can go... Perfectly fine for her to go check that out, probably check that out. Alright, so next turn. So we're day 2, mind you. Alright, so now we're day 3. So I believe this is how far I went. This is the extent of how far I went the first time. So, Dwarven Treasury, like I said, probably highly unlikely I can clear that at this point. Enchanted Spring. And Tazar. What we're just going to do with Tazar is we're just going to... Let's see, how much more movement do we have? We can probably afford to pick that up. Because of the road, and, you know, roads give a lot, like, what, they reduce movement cost by, I want to say 75%, something like that. So, yeah, all right. So, I wouldn't, also, you know, I wouldn't move everyone fully until you're completely sure as to where you really want to go here. So, now I've got to kind of keep in mind, I've got Ivor, he's my main hero. I want to kind of keep in mind what I want to do with him while I'm planning this. So, we want to go, let's see, Brissa. So, Brissa's now got it. And we've cleared all this. This just needs to be picked up. So, what we kind of want to do is we want to go up over here. And I want to kind of keep Ivor in mind here because he probably wants to go up and get this arena. Probably the quickest way for him to do that is to just go up here. So we maybe want to clear those gremlins. And we can actually do that. Looks like we could do that with Brissa here, and she would probably, judging by... She would probably have enough movement to still hand it off to Adelaide, so that would be fine. Let's go ahead and do that. There you go. And that lets Ivor just come up here and get his +2 attack. Now, you notice I'm not worried about him getting experience right now, you know. I mean, I do worry about that a little bit, and if I can get him some experience, I will. But it's not such a priority. The biggest priority here is clearing the map so I can grab all the resources so I can build my town, maybe even hire more heroes. So, okay, so I don't know what's over here to the right. I do know that there's a few things that I can clear if I give Adelaide the troops. So we're going to do that. If I had like View Air or something like that. Another thing that might be a priority is clearing these Gardens of Revelation. Ideally, you only want your main hero to visit every part on the map once, right? That's way you don't waste a lot of time, like, you know, going to one place and then coming back to it later. So he's right here right now. He could go visit that Garden of Revelation if I cleared it. It would be ideal if I could give him the troops to clear it himself, but that's not, in the interest of time, that's not possible. He's out of movement points. So I'm going to just go ahead and clear it right now. That way he can just walk there. And I can also, so I can now see what's up here. So we got the Naga Bank. Those are kind of hard, so I'm not going to be doing that this turn, that's for sure. Alright, so I cleared that. I suppose I probably would want to clear this obelisk. We definitely want to get to that homestead, I can tell you that. And let's see here, what else do we got? I think we're almost there. I think we've almost cleared the entire area that we cleared in 1 week on day 3. So you can see the difference there. We're pretty much there. And I would probably have Coronius go and see what's their basic first aid. Yuck. Definitely not going to bother with that. This guy could probably... Oh, there's Chain Lightning. How about that? Yeah. But But picking that up earlier wouldn't have done me any good anyway. Nobody had the magic points to cast it. And so now that you see that we have nothing to do with these characters, now they go in and they pick up the resources. And might as well clear that. There we go. Okay, like I said, I pretty much have done, in what took me a week with one character, I've basically done in 3 days with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters. And I would hire more. What I usually do, I don't usually hire all the characters, like all 8, on the first week. Usually, I'll hire maybe this many, like 6 or 4 or whatever. And then the next week, when new heroes show up with with a full set of troops, then I'll hire them to get more troops. Preferably, from the same type of town, right? So, hire Rampart troops. Hopefully, they'll have like some elves on them or something like that. But anyway, that's a brief introduction, at least, to hero chaining. And like I said, all the top players use it. It's pretty standard. It can be tough to set up sometimes, but when you set it up, it does amazing things. I don't do too much of this, like really advanced hero chaining in my videos, because I'm playing single player, and I'm also playing on a very high difficulty where I start with basically no resources, so I can't really hire a lot of heroes from the start. So it's a little bit different style of game. Also, versus the computer, you really don't have to be, amazing as far as your gameplay. Also, on those single player maps that are just built for single player, usually they'll stop you, with some kind of quest guard or something. So you can't just barrel your way through an entire map by, just hiring, a couple of starting heroes and stuff. You have to progress some kind of storyline or something like that. So it's a very different type of game. But anyway, but hopefully that brings some light on hero chaining and just how effective it is. Anyway, guys, if you like the video, let me know, and I've got a Patreon link in the description. And Maze Quest 2 is out, just about to get out of early access and go live. So, all right, talk to you guys later.